in C. Let me will stop. Now, before going through the file handling, let me introduce that what is the need of a file. Because when you write a C program, it is by default being stored in a file, right? And those data that the program that you write in a file is already being stored in a permanent manner. Then what is the need of reading a separate concept called file handling? For example, if I say, so till now what you have, we have the console and we have the memory. What is this console? Console consists of just keyboard, mouse, the standard input of keyboard, mouse, your monitor, video, those are your console. In standard input device is your keyboard and the monitor. The output standard output device is your monitor. Till now, the program that we do, we input data from the console to the memory, and whenever required, we read the data from the memory to console. Correct? For example, if I say to input 10 numbers and find out the sum, average, or whatever, maybe taking a structure by inputting their value. So what you do, we actually input through the keyboard to the memory. We input through the keyboard to the memory, correct? And whenever we use this printf statement to print the value, printf percentage, the age, roll number, name, what you do, we actually transfer the data from the memory to the console or to the monitor. We display it on the monitor. So this memory, if I writing, this memory is primary memory. Primary memory is volatile in nature. Volatile means as long as the power is there, that your data is present. Once the power is off, your data lost. Now question is that, suppose I have declared a structure with array of structure of 100 elements and many data are entered. Once the power of my data, all my data has gone, right? So how to store this data? If I want to store data permanently, I need a secondary storage device. As you know, the secondary storage devices are non-volatile memories. The memory, if I am saying, the memory means it is primary memory. You do not have to explicitly say it is a primary memory. In your book, even it is written with memory, it indicates that it is a primary memory. So that is what we need actually. We need to store this data on a disk. We want to store this data on a disk, correct? So now my work is this interaction between the memory and the console already you know, right? We use the scanf and printf statements for transferring from the console to memory or memory to console. This is the printf and scanf statement that you use. But now the question is that, can I transfer this data from memory to disk, and whenever required, can I get it from disk to memory? Correct? So what I need to transfer the data from memory to disk, and whenever required, I will get it from disk to memory. So this part of interaction is your file handling. This part of interaction will say it's a file handling. And this is what? This is the console memory interaction. This is the console memory interaction. Correct? This is the console memory interaction. So what we did, we just have to have the knowledge of transferring the information from the memory to disk, from the memory to disk, and whenever required, I want to transfer the data from disk to memory. Because once the data is there in the memory, we know that how to transfer to the console. once the data we have sent it to the memory, this part already we know. We only need to know that how to transfer to the memory to disk. So only we are going to read that how the memory and disk interact with each other. This is the part that we are going to study. I think it's understood. Anywhere, if you have any doubt, you can interrupt me by raising a question on your chat box. Correct? So, going through my slides. So, previous. So, in today's class, we will be going through how. By the end of this class, we should know about how to open a file. Why we will open a file? Remember what is the need of a file? There are basically two operations that we do. Basically, we do two operations in a file. One is the read operation. Whiteboard. There may be basically we have read operation or write operation. These are the two operations that we perform on a file. Basically, these are the two operations. And to do these operations, what we have to do? We have to have two things over here. We have to open a file, then we'll do either of the two operations. Then I have to close a file. Correct? So try to understand over here. We'll open the file. What does it mean by open? That means those files will be opened in the memory. We'll have to open the file, and after my work is over, I have to close it explicitly so that no more it is required for me, and I will close it from the memory. And between this open and close, what I have to do? I may have to do some read operation, maybe some write operations. That correct? So what we'll do over here in this class, we'll learn about how to open a file for writing, for reading. How to open a file for appending data. Sometimes appending is a kind of, we can bring it into the write operation because we are writing at the end of the file. Append means adding the text at the end of the file. And then we have a difference between text and binary file. We'll read about how the strings can be entered and how the strings can be read from the file, record input and output from the file. These are the things that we will discuss. So, next slide. Okay. So, what is a file? File is a collection of related data that a computer treat as a single unit. So, file is just like a container where you write, where you store some information. Like when you have a copy for a particular subject, that you can talk as a file. But you know any of the operating system like Windows, you have a folder, and inside the folder you have some files. What are the files contents? File contains a particular kind of information. If it is a text file, contains a text information. If it is an image file, contains image information. If it is a audio file, contains audio information. Right? So file is a collection of related data that are in computer treated as a single unit. So computer store files in the secondary storage so that the content of the file remains intact when a computer shuts down. Try to understand over here what we have. We have one is the secondary storage because it stores in the secondary storage device, not at the primary memory. Second one, its content will remain intact. When a computer remain intact means the content will not be lost unless you have not deleted it. The content will be there. Second. So when a computer reads a file, it copies the file from the storage device to the memory. What it does, if you want to read means what? From the storage device to memory. Then from memory, we will bring it to the monitor, to the console. And if you want to write, then we transfer data from console to memory, and then we have from memory to the storage device. So before going to this file handling, one concept we have must know is about the buffer. What actually a buffer is? The buffer says, suppose this is my input device through which I input the data, right? And through the operating system, it goes to the file for writing, correct? It goes to the file for writing, right? But there might be a speed mismatch between these two. So we can always introduce a buffer over here. We can always introduce a buffer over here. What does it mean? The data that will enter over from this device will be go through this buffer, and from buffer it can be transferred. So buffer is also like a small storage area. So where the input or output from the file or from the devices can be stored. So it is a special work area that holds data as the computer transfers them to or from the memory. So either it is to the memory or from the memory we are reading. In both the cases it will transfer through the buffer. So the physical requirement of the devices can deliver more data for input than a program can use at any one time. And the data can, how much data I can send? I can send or receive according to my buffer size. Correct? So the file information, what are the information that a file case for a file is required is the name of the particular file that operating system uses, and the position of the current character. One is the name of the operating system, that because different operating system has different way of naming a file. For Windows, there is a particular way of naming the file, whereas maybe in Linux some other way of naming the file. So name of the operating system that is being used and the position of the current character. Correct? And for file handling, we use a special type of structure called file. This is already defined in the stdio.h. You don't have to write the code for the same. Only you just have to use this file to store the attribute of the file. Correct? This structure is already defined, and we just have to set the attribute of this member that is there in the file. Okay. So as I said, this is the data source. This is the data source. This is from the keyboard, and we have an input stream through which it goes, the data is generated, and while writing, data is being passed to the output text stream to this monitor or to the file. So output may be written to a file, the output may be written to a monitor or output device. Correct? And what are these stream means? We have output and text stream and input text stream. What is this stream means? The stream says stream is the sequence of bytes, because when you go for writing or reading some data, those are in form of a sequence of bytes. A series of bytes will be written to the file, or series of bytes will be read from the file. And basically we have two types of streams that we deal with. One is called text stream, another is called the binary stream. We'll discuss about that. What is a text stream and binary stream. So as I said, there are two different kinds of files over here. We deal with text files or binary files. The text files are also called ASCII files. What are these ASCII text files are? Any of the file which can be opened using any of the editor, like you write something in Notepad or write something in a VI editor, all those files are text files. The content that is written on the content that is being written on a text file can be read using any of the editor. Why it is there? Because each of the characters are ASCII characters. But if I say, can you read the content of an image file? If a movie file is there, if you open the movie file, can you read the content of those? These are in different format, in its own format. If it's MS Word file, you have written type something in MS Word. If you if you want to open in an editor, you cannot able to read it. You need a MS Word to open the particular file. But if it is written in text file, ASCII text, you use any of the editor. You go for Notepad, you go for VA editor, you go for any editor. All the editor you can use, you can open this text file. Correct? Binary files have its own formats. Now, what is the basic difference? I have three basic differences between this text and binary files. I will go for those three differences. Next slide. There are three differences between this text mode and binary mode. Why we are discussing this? Because while we will write the programs on this file handling, we will write programs for this text mode, we will also write programs for this binary mode. We want to have the files to be created in text mode, we will say text files. Some files you might be requiring in binary mode, we will say the binary mode files. So what is the difference between these two? Between text and binary, there are basically three differences. The first difference is the /n character, the conversion of /n character. The second one is the conversion of end of line character. And third one, the way it is being stored. The way it is being stored. Correct? Let me tell you all this through a editor. The first difference I said about the /n character, conversion of /n character. What it does over here, when you write in a text file, suppose this is my text file, right? I type something and when you press the /n, the /n character is converted as two different characters. One is the carriage return, another is the line effect. The /n character is converted into two different characters, carriage return and line effect. Right? So we have /r and /n is being converted over here. So automatically when you type something and press enter for the next line, this character, the /n that you have given is being actually two characters, /r and /n. While reading from the file, automatically this is being, if you have an enter key, it will automatically decode into /r and /n. Correct? So these two characters are being automatically converted when you read or write from the file. This is one. The second difference is the end of line, end of file marker. The second difference is the end of file marker. See, in MS, if you are using Windows and you are typing something in command prompt, after typing your text, what you press the Ctrl Z to save it, right? If you want to write you have to create a file, you type something, then you press Ctrl Z to save it. Or if you are using the Linux or Unix, that might be Ctrl Z, Ctrl D for the same. Now, these are different. These are nothing but the end of file marker. I have a file. I have written the content. The last character, I press the Ctrl Z in MS-DOS, or it may be the Ctrl D in Linux, and some other characters may be in different operating systems. What is this character is? This is nothing but a end of file marker over here. This indicates that this is the end of a file. The way you use the slash your null character at the end of the string. In a string you use that one. There are some codes over here. Let me handle some. Maybe chat. Okay. Can you get the okay? The first can you get the PPT for better reading and future reference? Yes, I will provide. Okay, that I will take care. Oh, I think the yellow color is not clearly visible. Okay, I will take care of it. So, in the end of file bracket, each for after every file, the last character is the end of file. Like in a string, the last character is what? Last character is a null character, right? Similarly, in end of file, the last character is a end of file marker, correct? So, in a binary file, you may not have this end of file marker, but in a text file, you have to have an end of file marker over there. These are the basic two differences. The third difference, the important difference is the way they are being stored in the memory. How it is being stored in the memory. See, in a text file, what is stored? Suppose I have to store this 127.4591. This is the value that I want to store. Correct? If I have declared it as a float, data type, how much byte this will take? Occupy in the memory. Assuming float will have 4 bytes. So this has occupied 4 bytes in memory. Try to understand. I am saying it is in memory, right? So this will occupy 4 bytes in memory because it is a float variable. But if you go for a text file mode, each one is one character. So 1 as a character, 2 as a character, 7 as a character, dot as also a character, 4, 5, 9, 1, each one is one character. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will take 8 bytes in the text file. Each one is being converted as text. If you go for a binary, file, the content will be same as of that is the memory. In the memory, the way it is being stored, because you know that floating point numbers are stored in different way. So in the same way, it will be stored in the memory and occupying 4 bytes only. Correct? So in text mode, whatever you write, maybe integer, float, character, double, whatever, all are being form of text. In binary mode, what happens? The way it is there in the memory, in the same way it is also being represented in the file. These are the 3 basic differences between a text file and binary file. Okay, so these 3 differences I have listed in 3 different. The next 3 slides I have just. Okay, this is the first difference. That has some problem over here. Okay, the first difference is that I said is conversion of carriage return and lightweight combination. Conversion of this carriage return and conversion of this carriage return and lightweight carry combination that I have told you, and whatever I discussed, this is written over here for the first difference. That conversion doesn't take place in binary mode. The second factor, what I said, that end of file marker. End of file is also a character. Last character of the file is the end of file marker. Is a ASCII value. That ASCII value is 26. Correct. And the third factor is what I discussed now. The third one is the conversion of integer all to be in the form of text. So let's say. So all in the form of text. So even if you write, see over here, I have given this one example over here. This will take 7 bytes in what? This will take 7 bytes on your disk. This will take 7 bytes on your disk. Whereas if you add this is a float, it will take only 4 bytes in float. So these are the 3 points that I have already discussed, and this is there on your slide. You can refer it later. I will say I have the slide with you. So going for the next slide. Now go for the practical how you will open the file. It says there are two things. One, file is an independent entity whose name is recorded by the operating system. Operating system will know it by its name. By its name, it will have its what? A file is an independent entity with a name recorded by the operating system. Whereas string is created by a program. So what we need to have a relation between this file and a string. So that means we need a string, we need a file pointer, so that we will have a connection between these two. So that will be explained better when you go for a program. Okay. So what we'll read now, we'll be discussing about this input output function. What do you say that this input output functions? Because this file IO function is nothing but writing into disk and reading from disk. Therefore, we say this input and output. And this input output function is basically high level or low level functions. We are not now going through these low level functions. We are only going through this high level. Low level writing we are not discussing in this class. This is beyond of our. Now going for this high level, this input output function. What we'll read over here? We'll read the text mode. We'll read about the binary mode. We'll have the formatted text and unformatted text, formatted binary and unformatted binary. These are the things that we'll discuss in our class. So we have first thing is that if I want to open a file either for reading or writing, I need a file pointer. Okay. So I'll tell you that what is that file pointer is. See, if I have an integer variable, I have an integer variable, integer a equals to 5. If I need to store the address of this integer, what kind of pointer I require? I require an integer pointer for the same integer p, ampersand of p star p is equal to ampersand of a, so that the address of a can be stored. Because a is an integer and this pointer has to be integer. Similarly, it says to open a file, I need a file kind of pointer. I can give any name over here. I give a p, you can give any name over here. This file is a keyword. This has to be in capital letter. As I told you earlier, there is a structure already defined in stdio.h. So this is a pointer of file type. Once a pointer is defined, I can open any file by using this pointer. As an integer pointer can store the address of an integer, similarly this file pointer now can able to store the address of any file that is been associated. Correct? So to work with a file, first thing is that you must have a file pointer. I look at by writing file pointer. How to open? To open the file, you just have to write file pointer equals to fopen, then the file name. Suppose this my file name is test.txt. First I will discuss about the text file, then you will go for the binary file, and I will go for any mode. Try to understand over here. What are these? This says this is the syntax in which the file is open. FP is what? FP is a pointer of file type. Fopen is a function that you are using for opening the file. The first one is the name of the file. First one is the name of the file, and the second one is the opening mode. Now I will say that what is the need of this opening mode? See, what is the need of opening my file? I want to open this file for what? Either for reading or for writing or adding some text or for changing some text. So all these for which what is my requirement, so that accordingly I will set my opening mode. If I want to create a new file, I will go for write mode. W stands for write. If you want to read, then I will go read mode. Now you might be asking that what are the different modes that are available? we'll certainly go for that. What are the modes in which a file can be opened? Correct? So we have actually 6 modes in which the file can be opened. One is write, read, append, W plus, R plus, A plus. These are the basics. The first 3 are the basics, W, R and A. However, besides that, W plus, R plus and A plus are the 3 different modes that are also being used for opening a file. See, mind it carefully, remember it carefully, what is the use of these different modes. The W mode says that if a file is opened in W mode, it is for the file is created for writing. The file is created for writing. That means a new file is created. Do remember, a new file is created. That means if already a existing file is there with some records, 1000 records are already have inputted, but by mistake you open in W mode, what will happen? All my previous content will be erased and a new file will be created. Correct? Is it understood what I am saying? If it is W, what happens? A new file is always created. If already with the same then another file is there, then all its content should be erased. Correct? So, but if I want to only read from the file, I want to search for a particular record, I want to search for a particular word, I don't want to write anything, then it is in read mode for reading purpose. So, R mode is for what? Reading. So, if you have opened in read mode, you cannot write anything into the file. But you might be thinking that I just want to 10 records, I have 10 students information I have entered, I want to add some record. I don't want to modify, I just want to add. But if I open in W, what will happen? All my content will be lost. So what I will do, I will open in append mode. So appending content to the file, the data will be added at the end of the file. Now W plus is another mode where it does what it does. This is similar to that of writing W mode, but it says that you can write new content and read them back. Writing new content and read them back. Writing new content and read them back. So whatever the content now I have entered, those things also I can read. Correct? The R plus says I can read the content, I can writing new content and modifying the existing content. And also modifying the existing content. If you want to read, write and modify, all those can be done to the which mode? To the A plus. Correct? Now the A plus, this opens the file in open mode. What will happen over here? In A plus, appending the content. Appending means it is same as the A. Besides that, what it does, you can also read the content, read the existing content. Read the existing content. You can also read the existing content. But do remember, in A plus mode, you cannot modify the content of a file. In A plus mode, you cannot modify the content of the file. Correct? These are the modes, what I said. As I said, there are 2 types of files. One is what? Text file. And second one is what? The binary mode. So all I am discussing about the text file. And in text file, do remember, the default is T. That means either you write W or you may write WT, RT, AT, WT plus, like that you can write. Is it understood what I am saying? So W or WT, RT, AT, this way also you can write. T stands for text. And this is, T is default, therefore you might use this T or not, it's up to you. Correct? So this is the way the file is opened. If you want to close the file, once your work is over, you want to close the file. After reading or writing is done, you want to close the file. then the syntax is fclose the file pointer. The file pointer is associated with this file. The file pointer is associated. If you are writing fclose fp, this file will be closed from the memory. I hope it is understood. So now we'll go for a program that how this is being used. So now this is the file pointer that I have discussed. And okay, now C automatically creates 3 streams that opens and closes your file. What are those? 3. One is std in, std out, std error, standard input, standard output, and standard error device. Correct? Besides that, standard auxiliary devices and other standard devices are there. But in our example programs, we will be using these std in, std out, and std error. And std in is your keyboard, std out is your monitor or video, std error is also video because your output error is also comes displayed on the terminal itself. So what do we do over here for the IO functions? We will have file open or close. We will read about the formatted input output, character input output, line input output, block input output, file positioning, system file operation, and so these are the things that we are now will be covered. Okay. Now when you say open a file, what does it mean? The file is there on your disk. The file is there on your. The file is. The file is there on the disk, and what you are doing, so the file is already there on your disk. What you are doing, if when you say I am opening a file, that means you bring it to the memory. You bring it to the memory, and the file pointer that you write file star fp that you have written, that pointer will point to the beginning of the file, to this memory location. Correct? So fopen, whether it is for reading or writing, the file was there in the disk. Now once you write fopen, it will be brought into the memory. It may be for reading or writing, and this file pointer will point to the beginning of the file by default. It is at the beginning of the file. Okay, so this is the way the file is open. Already I told the file name and the mode in the way the file is open. And what is these are the different examples in which the file can be opened. You can see the file name with read, write, or the append mode. See over here, it's a sample code written that I create a file pointer over here. The way I have written over there, this slide. So I think my previous slide, here I have taken a file pointer, correct? FP. Now what is taken over here? SP data, whatever you may take of your own. This is what? This is the internal file variable. This is the pointer of which type? This is a pointer of file, right? With this file type, I want to open this mine data dot. This is what? The external file name which is there on the disk. I want to actually access this one. And this pointer is associated with this file. It is pointing to the beginning of the file, and for which purpose we have opened it, for writing purpose. So what it does actually, the pointer is pointing to the file pointer is pointing to this file, the beginning of the file, and data is to be, because as it is a write mode, the data has to be written into this file, to the disk. And what is the file name in the disk? File name in the disk is this mine data dot. The Let's go for an example. How to open the file in reading mode. Try to understand this program we have written, assuming that this file already exists. If you have some programs you have defined, that program name also you can name. Suppose you have defined one.cpc. If you have one.c, any name you have given, that can also be written given over here for reading the file. Do remember, this has to be text file. Otherwise, if you give a binary file, doesn't give an error, but the text that will be displayed you cannot understand. That is the only thing. See over here, what I have created a pointer, a file pointer over here. I am opening the file by you. This is the file name that is on your disk. I open the file in read mode. If you want to execute on your machine, do remember instead of this file name, you have to give some other name which is there on your disk. Correct? Not necessary that only this name, you can also give the path. If it is there in your C drive, you can write C:/ the file name a.txt, or if it is in the D drive or some other drive, you may write in D:/ test.txt. In this way you can give. If it is in the pen drive, you give that : the file, so that the file will be opened in read mode. Do remember, when you open a file, what it does, it returns null if the file failed to open. Suppose the file doesn't exist. If the file is not there, then it will return null and FP will become null. That means if FP equals to null, I have displayed a message that file cannot be opened and it will come out. Is it understood? Just to check that whether file is successfully opened or not, we have to check it by using this FP equals to null. What is the return type of this fopen function? The return type of fopen function is, if it is null, that means file cannot open. If it is successful, it will return the file name, that is being the first address, it will be returned to this end. The starting address of the file will be, in the memory, it will be returned to FP. If it cannot open, it will return null. Correct? If you want to test on your machine, just instead of this file name, give another file which is there on your machine. These things already I have told you, the read, write and append mode, that already I have told you. Besides that also I said there are 3 different modes, R+, W+, and A+ are also there. So we'll go for the next slide. Okay. Okay. So now look over here into this diagram. If a file is opened in read mode for reading purpose, the file marker is at the beginning of the file. If it is for reading purpose, it's at the beginning of the file. Correct? Because you start reading from the beginning position only. So starting position is 0 always. And what is the last position? Already know in a text file, last character is which one? End of file, EOF marker. If you are opening in W mode, what I said, in W mode a new file will be created. That means you are going to write the new content. So file pointer will be at the beginning of the file. And if you are going for opening a file in append mode, so you want to add new content at the end of the file. So file pointer will be at the end of the file, so that you can go on adding content to the file. Okay. All our functions that are related to the file is confined to these functions as what I am displaying on your screen. See over here, these are the only functions that you are using in our file. These are only functions in general. I am saying these are being sufficient to work on a file. What are these? One is fopen function, creates a new file. For that I have already told you what is this fopen function is. Correct? And the next one is fclose for closing a file. Fclose for closing a file. Fopen, fclose, already I have told you what is this. Get C and put C. This read a character and this read a character from the file and write a character in the file. We will use the get C and put C. Similarly, we have f put C is also there. F get C and f put C, and there is a f printf and f scanf. Besides that, fprintf, I will discuss all those how the use of these functions in your program. Different programs are there for each of those. Then we'll read about the get w, put w for integers, and fseek, ftell, and rewind for binary files. These things we will be discussing. Or these functions we will be discussing where in your file handling program. So see over here. We'll use the fgetC. So getC function, what it does? Read a character. If I use fgetC, it will read a character from the file. Correct? getC function will read a character. fgetC function will read a character from the file. Similarly, putC function write the character. fputC write a character into the file. So if f is being attached, that means it is for the file. So look over here. Once the file has been opened, we no longer refer to the file, rather we refer to the pointer. So if you have used the file pointer as fp, then you can use only fp over there. And what this returns? It returns the character that is being read. So let us go for this example. Look into this example. I have a file pointer fp. Through the file pointer, I open a file in reading mode. Do remember, if I am opening a file in read mode, what does it mean? It means that file already exists. I just want to read the content. So assuming that this file already exists, correct? If we are trying this program, write a file name which already you have created on this particular folder. If it is not there in particular folder, you give the path, then the file. C:/ or D:/ like that you have to write. So file is opened in read mode. If I write fp equals to null, then doesn't it? That means if the file failed to exist, I can give this command and I can come out by writing this x0 from here over this side. Okay, if the file is opened, if fp is not equals to null, what I want? I want to input some characters and I want to write it into the file. So while one, we can say what is the while one means? While one says, if there is one over here, Samyadeep.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, I had a doubt that when we use fopen function and we are opening that myfile.txt. Sir, from where will it open myfile.txt? My computer may have 3 or 4 myfile.txt in different locations.
No, you cannot have more than 2 files. You cannot have more than 2 files within the same directory. For example, if I say myfile.txt is there in your C.
Yes.
Is it understood what I am saying? So if it is there, okay. So now, if it is supposed in the D drive it is there. So you write d:/myfile.txt.
Okay, sir.
That means inside the D drive you can have 2 files with the same name, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. If it is in the pen drive, it may be in some directory d:/my folder.
Okay, sir. We have to put the full address and then. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So what we do over here, we read a character. We read a character. If the character is the end of the file, then read. That means what it does. While one means we'll continue in the infinite loop. While 1 means it will not stop, it will continue. What it will do, it will read a character from the file. GetC function read a character from the memory to the from the keyboard. It will send it to the memory. But fgetC, once it is f is there, that means it will read from a file. From which file? From this file, fp file. It will read a character. This fp is nothing but this myfile.txt. It will read a character and store it in cs. What is cs? cs is declared as a character. So it will store over there. And I check whether it is end of file. Means I go on inputting the characters, and the last character I will place as what? Control D or Control Z. In MS-DOS I press Control Z, and Linux I press Control D. That is the end of file marker. If it is end of file, it will break. So if it is not end of file, it will print that character. Printf that character. It will print that character. Right? So what I mean, it will go on reading one character from the file and go on printing on the screen. And once the end of file marker is reached, it will break, means it will come out from this while loop. Is it understood? So what I mean, this program will read the content of the file, but one character at a time. Is that understood? I hope it is understood. So you can write any program. You can write the same program for reading character for any of the file. But do remember, if you are opening a MS Word file or music file or video file, the content will be opened, but you cannot decode that content or what is there and you cannot understand. We have some query over here. One is Rahul Kumar. Rahul? Hello?
Morning, sir.
Can you give a major query? What you have doubt? Rahul, do you have any doubt?
Yes, sir. Why you use conio.h header file?
Why you use? I could not hear it properly.
Conio.header file.
Why you use pointer?
No, sir. Conio header file. Conio.h header file.
Oh, that is, see, only if you have actually this is being, if you have used somewhere the CLRS here, some I have not used. If you have used that CLRS, you can use the conio. So header file I have not intentionally I have written. I have just used that if CLRS here somewhere use, that will be written. It's now where here it is not required. The conio is not required. Some text that and okay, so will this PDF is here? Okay, as I said earlier, I will give this PDF. What is the difference between exit 0? See, exit 0 and exit 1, I think this was discussed earlier. But let me tell you that what is the normal termination or is the abnormal termination? We give here there. So see over here, how to count this? First thing is that I will read one character. I will check that whether it is a tab or not. How will know if it is a tab or not? If it is a /t, if it is a space or not, I will give a space. If it is just new line or not, I will give a /n. So see over here, I have declared some variables over here. Number of count, number of characters, number of tabs, number of blank spaces, number of lines. We have defined some variables over here. Correct? So what do we have? We have defined some variables over here. Correct? Now the file is open in read mode. I read a character over here. I read a character. Correct? And I check. If it is end of file, you break. That means it will come out. It will come out from the loop. If it is not, that means at least one character is read. So number of character will increment. If that character is a space, I will increment the number of blank space. If it is /n, I will increment the number of lines. If it is /t, I will increment the number of tabs. Correct? And this will continue as long as while one. That means the loop will continue like that. And whenever the end of file will encounter, it will come out and it will print out the total number of characters, blank spaces, lines, tabs, all this. Correct? Assuming that this file already there. that has some content. So going for the next program. Okay. This is till now what you have read is file already exists. We want to read. Now if you are going for writing into a file, right? Writing into a file, what do you mean? Which mode will open? Will open in W mode. Correct? I have written T. The T is optional whether you may write T or not. T is for the text mode. By default it is T, so it is up to you whether you write T or not. The file is open in the write mode. What I do? I input a character and I want to write it into this file FP. Correct? So I want to write the character into the file. Similarly, so when as long as how much it will enter? It will enter as long as it is not end of file character is not being entered. As long as the end of file character is not entered, the character should be inputted to the file. And once it is over, then I want to read from the file. If I want to read from the file, this is important. You have to close it. And next you have to open in read mode. If it is in write mode and you want to read from it, then you have to close it and again open in read mode. Correct? In write and read both cannot be done at the same time. You have to close it and you can use the read mode over here. So how to read? We get a character from the fgetC. I read a character from the, this is fgetC. Read a character from the file, store it here, fc. F character is listed over here in this slide. Anyway, so fgetC, it will read a character from this file and if it is not end of file, well, what? Once it is end of file, it will stop. As it is not end of file, it will print that character. fgetC of fp. That's missing over here. fgetC of fp, it will read that character and if it is not end of file, it will read that, print that character. There is a typo error over here. Here fp and fgetC will write. So it will read a character from this fp. Here also it will write fc. Correct? So what we have done, we have written some of the text into a file. We enter some of the text into the file and then we read it. But to remember, till now what we have read by inputting the data character by character into the file and we are reading it character by character from the file itself. Correct? We want to copy the content of one file to another file. We want to copy the content of one file to another file. So can you tell me how many pointers I require? I need 2 pointers over here. One each for the source file from which you want to read. Another pointer we require for the target file to which we want to write. So we take 2 pointers over here. One is source pointer, another is for the target pointer. Correct? Now I open the file, source file in read mode. I open the target file in write mode. The source file is in read mode and the target file is in write mode. What I need, I want to read from the source file. I want to read from the source file and type and write into the target file. Correct? So I check if the source file is open. It's good. If it cannot open, I puts this and I can write the exit over here, so it will come out from this. If it cannot open the target file, I can close it, close the source file, and I can put exit over here to come out. Correct? So if the target file cannot be opened, the source file is not required, so I will close it and come out. Suppose both are okay, both could be open, both file can be open, source and target. So what I require, I need to read each character from the source and write it into the target. So I read a character if get C from the file, and since it is not till it is not being end of file, if CS is equal to end of file, it will come out. Otherwise, it will write into the file. Which file it will write? It will write into the target file. So I read a character from the source, I write it into the target, and the process will continue till the end of file mark is reached. When all the content are being written, then I close both the files. And to check that whether your file is copied or not, you can go to the target file and check that whether the content is being written to the file or not. Correct? So till now what you have read, we have read reading from the file character by character, writing into the file also character by character. Correct? So what you have, we have only put C and F put F. If it is F is used, that means what? It is for file. If it is F for what? The file we are writing into the file. Some queries are over here. I go for that, but let me at least for the okay. That will go for the next after the. Let me handle some of the queries if they have. Avinash summary. Avinash.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I had doubt with the last program.
Last program, okay, please. Last program. Okay, can you tell where you have the doubt?
Yes, sir. In that while loop, how will go to the next character means how it will read the next.
Okay. This is a very good question. See, in file, when you read a character, it automatically advances the file pointer to the next character. Automatically, you don't have to move it. Automatically, it moves the file pointer to the next character. Once a character is there, the file pointer moves to the next character. Correct? So what we'll do, we'll take a break now for 5 minutes, maybe, and in the meantime, we'll have 10 minutes break. Now it is 11:55, so we'll be coming around 12:05. 10 minutes break over here. In the meantime, when you come, we'll have attendance. We'll take the attendance at the center. And in the meantime, if you have any queries, you can type over here so that I will go for those. Okay, students, welcome back after the bio break. So now we'll be reading about how a string can be written into the file and how a string can be read from the file. In the previous discussion, what we had how the character by character will write in the file. Here we'll discuss how a string of characters can be written into the file. Correct? So just look over here. If you want to create a file by typing the lines of text, it's not by character, it will take F get C, it will take. Rather, what it will do, so that it will write a string into the file. See, I open a file in write mode. Correct? If the file cannot open, I can use the exit 0 over here to come out. If it is not that I can come out. If it is equals to, if it is not equals to null, what I will do? Enter few lines of text. While strlen of gets greater than 0, what it does? First try to find out. It will gets s means it will allow to enter a string. It will find the length of that string. If the length of the string is greater than 0, correct? So if I do not enter anything and press enter, what is the length of the string? It will become 0. So as long as the length of the string is greater than 0, whatever the string I have entered, that string will be written into this file. And after writing one string, I write /n so that it will be written in the next, will be written in the next line. Correct? Okay, so now what you are doing, so we will be reading one string, writing the string into the file. So what is the advantages over here as compared to the previous one? Previous one is reading one character, and each character is written to the file will be, it is taking much time as compared to this one. The entire string will be written, and just to mark at the end of the line, we use the slash and over, and it's over. I will use the F. Do remember, you have to execute each of the program by writing on your machine, so that you could able to understand, you could able to realize how these files are actually being created and how to open the content of the files. So now see over here. Now I want to go for okay. So look over here. What I need, given a text file, create another text file deleting all the values. I want to delete all this A, E, I, O, U from this text file if it occurs. What you will do? I will open the file in which mode? The file will be opened in read mode for reading. If you want to delete the content, that means I have to write the content in another file with write mode. So I will have one file is the source file I will have, another file is the target file. I will read the content of this file. Each of the character I will check. If it is A, E, I, O, U, if it is there, I will not write. If those characters are not there, I will write into this target file. Just look over here. I open this test.txt as read and write both, read R plus. Then if fp equals to null, then cannot open file. If the file open in write mode, this is the second file I opened in write mode, correct? So why I have it open in read R plus mode? I want to go do both reading and writing over here. So second file is write mode. I can also open the read. There is no problem. If I go for only read, there is no problem. So I read a character and it is stored in C. I read a character from the file. It is stored in C. I check that whether it is A, E, I, O, U or A, E, I, O, U or not. If it is not, then I will write into the file. Correct? So I will write into the file if the file content is it is not, the character is not A, E, I, O. I think it's understood. It is very simple. I read a character, check if it is not there, so I will write into the another file. Similarly, if you have a program to convert a text file into uppercase, I read a character, I read one character from the file. See, again I have a problem. F get C. I read a character from the file and I change it to uppercase and write into this file. The out must be opened in write. This has to be opened in which mode? The write. Correct? This has to be F get C. This has to be F get C, so that it will read from the file and write the character into the by changing it to uppercase, it write in the file. It's a very simple program. Go for the next program. Can you write this program? This is an assignment for you. One solution I will tell you, but to remember, if a text file is given with some numbers are inputted to a file. Copy all the even numbers to a file called even.txt and all the odd numbers to a file called odd.txt. What you will do over here, you will read a character, and then if that character is, if it is, you divide it with 2, if it is an even number, I will write it to a file even.txt. If it otherwise, I will write into odd.txt. So these two files have to be opened in write mode, and the source file has to be opened in read. Correct? And another program also you will write of your own. What you will do? in a file content, you will create a file. Suppose I want to do a encoding program over here. A file is given. Some text are written. I will read one character. This is my source file. This is my target file. I will read one character. I will add 35 to it and write into target file. So each of the character I will add 35 and write into the target file. So this target file will contain the text which is encoded. Encoded means one cannot decode what is written over here. Suppose each character is added with the value 35 and written into the file, then one cannot understand what is written over here. To decode it, what you will do? You will subtract 35 and write into another file so that the content can be read. So you will read each of the character, do minus 35 to each of the character and write to the second file so that the file can be decoded. So the text file is given. So encode each of the character by adding 35 and decode it by displaying the content. So for the first program, okay, we will go for. So till now, what you have discussed, those two programs, questions what I have given, this is the assignment for today's also. In today's tutorial class, we will do those two assignments. Okay. This is not very difficult. So till now, what you have read, how to input and read the characters, character by character or string by string. Entire string will be entered and how will be reading those strings. Now we'll go for formatted input and output. It is like I want to input the roll number, name, age, this kind of value I want to input. The way it is being inputted, like suppose like it is a character name, this is of integer. I want to input in that the way I have inputted, the same way I want to write into this file. Correct? See, the first file 1.txt is open mode and second file is open in read. I input the name and age, and just look over here. I have fprintf. Fprintf is the function that is used for formatted input output. I input fprintf, the ename and the age that is already entered over here. This is in file or in memory. It is in printf scanf. So printf scanf means it is in console memory. It is the console memory interaction. Correct? The console memory interaction. So I want to send from memory to file. This is from memory to file. What I will write? To write on the screen I have printf. To write in the file I will have fprintf. Correct? What I want to write? I want to write ename, I want to write e.h. So the formatted string I have used, and where I have to write? I have to write into p. Is it understood? So it says that from memory I want to transfer it to the file. So I have from memory to disk. Correct? So after this, I have once it's over, I close it. Now to check that whether this input, whether the value is inputted to or not, I want to read from the file. To read from the file, I use the fscanf. Scanf is for to the memory. If it is for fscanf, then it is from the file. So I try to read from the file. This has to be ampersand. This has to be ampersand. E.name you cannot give the ampersand because ename is itself the array, and you know that array itself is a pointer. So you don't need to give ampersand over here, but the e.h you have to give the ampersand. So for fscanf, what I will do, I will read these two and with a formatted string, and where it will be for the q file. Q is associated with the same 1.txt. Correct? And do remember, I have closed the file, then I have opened in, I have to use it in the read mode. And till the end of file, I have printed the name and age, it will be printed over there. Is that understood? So I go on inputting over here. I have only one statement over here. Had it been a loop also, had it been a loop, we can put number of characters can be entered, and can use the same loop over here to input for reading. Correct? I can use a loop over here by do while loop, and I can go for the next one. Okay. Suppose I have the name, roll number, address, marks. No, I have different kinds of data types over here. I have different kinds of data types. I want to open it write mode. I want to write into it. What I will do in formatted mode, what I will do, I will first input these things. I will input these things into the memory first. Once it is the memory, I will use the fprintf to write into the file. Okay, so we go. So we open the file now in write mode. We open the file in the write mode. We'll go for. So now see over here. I input all these up to this to see over here. I have inputted to the memory from the console to the memory. I input the name. I input address. I input mark. This is what from the console to the memory. Now it is in the memory, but I want to write into the file. To write into the file, what I use? Fprintf. I use fprintf. So I use the fprintf over here, and what I write to this file pointer, I write all these things: name, role, address, marks. All these are written. Correct? Though if I am writing name equals to %s, if I am writing this way, also it will be written to the file. Name equals to the first name, roll number equals to the way I have written, the similar way it will be written into the file. And then once it is being written, then I have printed the print completed and close the file. If it is for 10 students, I just put a loop over here, for loop over here, so that for 10 students it can be given, and and then you can write the file. And there is a for you over here around. Yes, Rahul.
Yes, sir. What is the meaning of F plus?
Oh, okay. You are talking about the F plus.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will go for the one slide is okay. This slide is there for F plus. I'll tell this is a very important concept. Okay, I'm going for this for the same. Right. Okay. See, in that example, I have used the function f plus std. This is I have used. This function is present in stdlib.h. What is the use of this? Sometimes you might have marked that while inputting it, suppose I have given enter the name, then I have entered the age. After inputting the name, sometimes it skips the age. You might have, some of you might have marked that while entering the name, a string, then you have an integer, and it may skip it. By again asking for the name, skipping the, why it actually happens. Suppose I have inputting the name over here. I input the name silicon. So how it is being, this is the way it is being entered, and what you have pressed, we have pressed the /n key, correct? Because after typing this, we press the enter key, is it or not? So what happens? It will store in this way. Well, it will read from the, because as I told, this has to go to the buffer, and before reading or writing it goes to the buffer. So now this is there in the buffer. While the console wants to read the data from it, it will read it up to the /n characters. That means it will go on reading all these characters up to /n and leaving this /n over here. So what is there in my buffer? After reading this character, what is left now? The /n will be left in the buffer. In the next line, you have scanf for inputting the age. While scanf inputting the age, it will try to read from buffer. That time in the buffer only the slash n is there. So assuming that slash n is entered, it will read the slash n for the edge, and by skipping the input of the edge. Therefore, after inputting this value, if I use this f plus std, it will flush out the buffer. Whatever there in the buffer, it will flush out. So it will make the buffer empty, so that the edge can be inputted from, it will come over here. Otherwise, it will assume that slash n is entered as edge, and therefore the f flush out the buffer. Of which buffer? There is the standard input device. For the standard input, std for standard input device, whatever the buffer is there, you clean it. That is the reason for which the f plus std is used, and this is generally present in std lib dot standard library dot. So coming to my slide, okay, the next slide. So that is the same problem I have just given over here, described over here. What is the need of this f plus? The question that you have put over there. Okay, this is another question. We will define a structure vehicle having data member's name, address, telephone number, vehicle number, all these things will be there. And you have to take the data of 10 owners and write into this file. Correct? Okay. And once you write, you will read the data on this file. This is the question. What is the question? We will have a structure, and that structure has these values. I want to write the content into the file. Okay. Let me go for the solution. What we have done? We have a structure having some data members. These are the data members over here. These are the data members over here. Correct? If I want to write these data values into the file, what I will do? First, I have to input to the memory. First, I will input to the memory, then I will write into the file. So, file is open in write mode, but to write into the file, I just have to input those. So, I have opened the file in write mode. And for how many vehicles? For 10 vehicles. So, I created vehicle of 10. Correct? I want to, and while reading, I will use this. Okay, let me go for the next slide. Okay, so first what I have to do, I have to input from to the memory. For how many times? This is given. So I have this size is 10 over here. For 10 times, what I have to input? I have to input the name, I have to input the address, phone number, vehicle number, license number, whatever there is, I have inputted all the things. This is what? This is to the memory. Once it is being inputted to the memory, what I want it to write into the file. To write into the file, what I use the fprintf. All the formatted string are used. Then I will specify what to write into the file. Why use f plus std in? So that your just 1 second, there is some technical problem. 1 second, 1 minute, just wait over here. Okay, we have received some queries that the screen is not visible, the screen sharing was not on. So I'll just repeat it, some of the things that I have discussed here. One thing, let me hand you query from there from Atul. Atul, any query you have? Atul? Okay. Now let me again whiteboard. Okay. Now see over here, I was discussing about the F plus string. Why the F plus string is being used? When you input a string, you input the character with the last character as class n, enter key. You press the enter key. Now this is there in the buffer. What is there in the buffer? All the characters along with the slash n character. Correct? When you read the things from this buffer, all the characters are being read, leaving this slash n on the buffer. Correct? So next time when you try to read the integer, the edge, already the slash n character is there in the buffer. It will read this slash n character as assuming that this is the edge that you have entered. So what we need? We need to clear the buffer over here. This standard input device buffer I want to clear, and that is the reason we use the F plus string, so that the buffer will be cleared. And this F plus string, the F plus is present in stdlib.h. So going for to our discussion of the slides. Any query over now? No. Okay. Four. Okay, previous program. I'll go through that program. Okay. Sandeep Sahu has raised it. Sandeep Sahu. Sandeep.
Sir, can you please explain that F flash again?
Okay, I'll explain. Don't worry. Anish. Anish.
Sir, during the break, I actually logged out for a while and I missed the attendance list. Can you please resend it?
And those queries you will attend after this. No worry, just you send your type in the WhatsApp. We'll consider that. Not to.
Thank you.
Okay, what's the previous slide? Previous slide. Okay. The first sitting we are talking. Okay. Anyway, again I will tell you what. So what are my problem was, I want to have a vehicle owner class, and here I have to declare some data members. I want to write into the file. So look over here. I have a structure variable I have declared with some data members, and I have a vehicle, an array of structures I have created, two array of structures of size 10, because 10 vehicles information I have to open, and this is being opened in write mode. Correct? I will go through the set plus, don't worry. Now, next slide. Okay. Now see over here. Here I have so what I have inputted for 10 number of students, the value is inputted over here, correct? For 10 number of vehicles we have inputted. What you have inputted? We have inputted name, address, phone number, vehicle number, license number, all these I have inputted. After inputting all this, we want to write into the file, so I have used the fprint over here. Okay. Now question is that what is the need of this f plus std? Do remember over here, many times while writing the program, before this also, you might have marked while writing a program, what you have, when you input the name, then you have input the age or some values, you will find that you will input the name and it will be stored in your memory. Maybe some name I have inputted, like PKT I have inputted in this, right? And what is my last character over here? So what you have, let I input some characters over here. Let, this is the string that I have inputted, correct? And what I'll do, after typing the text, I definitely press enter key. This is enter key or /n or not. Then what is in my buffer? I have the name, the entire string along with the /n character is there in my buffer. Is there in my buffer. If I try to read from this buffer, what I read? I will read all this. What your device will do, what your memory will do, it will, when you input this name with the scanf statement, scanf percentage output or gets name, what it will do? It will input the name, these things, and it will go to memory. Now the memory, what it will do? It will read this P, the key, then T, and /n encounter means it will assume that my reading is over. So it will read up to this, leaving this /n in the buffer. Leaving this /n in the buffer. Is it understood? Because you have the input device and you have a buffer over here. Now, from the buffer, if you want to read it, what will happen? This will try to read from the buffer up to this. So your string reading is over, but this /n is still there in the buffer, correct? The next time when you go for reading the age, it will start reading from the buffer, and what is there in the buffer? /n. So it will assume that for age, /n is input. So that is the reason for which it skips the age. Now if I use this f+std, it will flush out the content of the standard input device. So whatever is there, it will flush out. The /n will be flushed out. It will be empty. Now when you try to read the age, the new value of age will come to the buffer, and from the buffer we can read. That is the reason for which the f+std in is used. So sometimes when you go for skipping, you may skip it. That is the reason. So therefore, to avoid it, sometimes you give space before the scanf, or you go for many different methods you use to avoid the skip. And the reason is that because of this standard input device buffer. Correct? So going to the next slide. So we have inputted and we have into the file. Now to read from the file, what will do? 10 records I want to read. But for reading, what I will use? I will use what? I will use the fscanf. I will use the fscanf. So it will read from the file. What are these? The things that I have mentioned over here: name, address, phone number. Those are being read. To which, in which format? In this format it will be read from the file. It will read those things from the file. So in which format? These are the things in this format. So this file. Is that clear? This is what we have done. We have different kinds of variables that can be written. The next slide we will go for quickly because many things to be covered. So the same thing you can do by, I have a file, I want to replace the word, wherever this word is there, wherever the conjugation is written, you replace with PKT, wherever summation is written, you convert it to a SPN, wherever declaration is written, you convert it into DKN. So what I will do, I will read the string, I will take some characters over here, maybe 10 characters, I will compare. If it is this string, then I will change it to DKN. I will go for the program. Just look over here, I just read a string. I just read a string from the file. if it is, I use the string compare function. I use the string compare function so that if it matches, then I change it. I write this into the file. I go for giving all these three conditions. It is not very difficult. It says that you read a string. If it matches the way you wanted, you can. So I compare over here. If it matches, strcmp returns what? It returns 0 if it matches. If it doesn't match, it will return the first difference of the character. So if it is 0, I change it. Because I have written fprintf, correct? So therefore, to the file it will write pkt not the volume. Similarly, over the other cases. So these programs you will practice of your own, correct? The next is a program to create a data file and write integers from 1 to 20 to this file, and then read numbers from the file to display the square of the stored number. So I have some numbers in the file. I'll read them back and print what? Print the square of the number. It's a very simple. Just see over here. I have some numbers are entered into the file, and what I want, while I am reading the file, 20 numbers. So 20 numbers I have entered into the file. So I have 20 numbers entered into the file, correct? fprintf I have used the two. Now while reading the file, what I do, I read the content, and then I have kind of square of the number, correct? So it's not very difficult. Similarly, we have other these programs also. I have told you the even and odd program that I said. You can create two files. One where you write all the odd numbers. Second file you will use for the even number. I have some numbers in my file. I'll read the content from the file. If it is an even number, I'll write it to even file. If it is an odd number, I'll write it to the odd file. So just look over here. I have some numbers I have entered in the file. I have some numbers entered into the file. Correct? Some numbers are entered into the file. So this is inputted and right into the file. You have to use this. Then I have used two other files over here, even and odd. Both are in write mode. Both are in write mode. And what I have done, I found num modulo 2. So num modulo 2 to find what is the even or odd, and I go for this is either even or odd. Let me check over, but Saswat is having some query over here. Okay, someone having a query, Saswat, no. Okay. Next. So while doing all these file operations, there might be some error that may occur on the screen. Well, no, that may occur during the process. What are the problem that may occur? The file may not be able to open. There might be error on the disk. You may have reached the end of file. Opening a file with invalid name. All these errors that may occur during the program. So to handle those, we have functions. Some of the functions that have been used. Two of the functions that have been used over here. One is feof to check whether the end of file is reached or not. So if feof of fp, this will return what? The feof function returns the feof function. This returns 1 if the end of file is reached. So for this file, if end of file is this, it will return 1. So if end of file is this, it can print the end of data like that. To check that whether end of file is this or not, I can use that feof function. Correct? Similarly, if any error occurs during the operation, during write, read, whatever, if any error operation over there, you can write ferror. So if error of that is not equal to that, means if error occurs, then you can write the error occur at a particular position. Okay, this is an example over here. I have some numbers. 10 to 100 I have input into the file. then I enter a file name, and with that file, what is the file name is the variable that you have taken. What is the character star file name we have taken? So we have inputted the file name. I can input the file name in this way also. C:// in that way also I can input. So the same file name that you have given, you can use that. We can use that file name over here, right, for reading, and you can do the other operation. If end of file is not reached, if end of file is reached, then you can write run out of data. Otherwise, you print the numbers by reading it from the file, because you have read it from the file and you are writing. Correct? There are many problems that I have given on these slides. You can go for executing on your machines to realize that how these programs are actually behaving, because only by reading knowing the from these classes is not sufficient. You have to execute these programs, right? So therefore I will share these slides and you have to execute these programs on your machine. This one also we can skip, just for it checks for F error. If there is an error, it says that is reading from there. Because you see over here, this file I want to open, dummy.fil for writing. I want to open it. This is for which mode? For writing mode I want to open, and this is if I read some value from here. This is writing mode I am opening. Try to understand. This is which mode? Writing mode. New file is created. From the new file, that means no content is there, but I want to read from some content. fscanf is what? For reading writing into the content over here, reading from content from this file. To reading from this content, all this file is already an empty file. I want to read it. Right? This will return what? This error has occurred, and this will read. This will give one error. Okay. Till now we have discussed what? We have discussed about the text files. Now we go for the binary files. Binary files, how to open in binary mode? There is nothing more difference. Only thing is that along with R, W, A, or R plus, W plus, A plus, you just have to add the character B over here. The B stands for binary. So once you put B over there, it will be in binary mode. What is the binary mode? Already we have discussed. Now we go for how to what are the operations we will do in the binary mode. So I open a file in write and binary mode. I open in write and binary mode. Correct? So I input a string and close it. Correct? So this string will be written to the file and binary mode. So that will be discussed if we go for some more examples. This is already I said. The next slide. Okay, look over here. The same program, only what I have done over here. This is a structure that you have taken. This is the structure that you have taken, and we have entered. We have opened the file. We have opened the file in write and binary mode. So the text that the things that will be written to the file is in binary mode. Correct? So this is the exact same way the way you are doing in the text file. Only thing is that you are using the binary mode over here. But the next slide. Okay. But this is the important over here. We do have two functions called fread and fwrite. We have fread and fwrite are the two functions. fread and fwrite are the two functions that are being used. fread and fwrite are the two functions that are being used for record input output. What do you mean by record? Suppose the student information or the vehicle information we had in our previous example. I want to write the entire vehicle information once at a time. I don't want to specify each of them. Think of I have 100 attributes in that structure. Should I go for writing this all those 100 names over there? I just want to write the entire structure into the file. If I want to write the entire structure into the file, then I can use the fwrite. Similarly, the fread can be used to read the entire structure from the file or the entire array from the file. So entire array of structures can be written to the file by using fwrite, and fread can be used for it. What is the syntax? Ampersand of the object name, size of array of structure, number of array of structure, and file path. I will go for an example so that it will be understood. Just look over here. I have a structure employee and one structure I have created E. The entire structure I want to write. I have inputted the value for the structure. I have inputted the value for the structure. Correct? Now when you write this one, try to understand fwrite ampersand of E, size of E 1, fp. What does it mean? I want to write this E object. What is E object? E object we have created and for which the value already we have inputted. Is it that? So E object I want to write to which file? To this fp file. This E object is of how many records? Only one record is there. If E of 10 or 10 records would be there, then I would have written 10. But if it has one record, so I write 1. And what is the size of the record? I have to write that size of 4 argument it takes. First one is the address of the object structure or the array. Second one is the size of the array of structure. Third one is what? Third one is the number of records that you want to write. And fourth one is the file pointer to which you want to write. All other are same exactly. While reading what I write, my content is over. I have written. After reading, I will close it. After closing, again I open the file in reading mode. I open the file in reading mode. So while I am reading mode, what I will read? From this file, from fp file, I want to read one record. And what is the size of the record? And that record will be written into the object. And I will display it on the screen. Correct? So fwrite is more easier as compared to the previous one, fscan or fprintf. Correct? This is exactly the same way. I use the fread and fwrite for employee data. I have inputted the values and I use the fwrite to write into the file, close it, and again use the fread to exactly the same way the previous example is. Now, see over here, you might be thinking one over here. What we have done till now, we are inputting the data to the file or reading data to the file in a sequential way. What will happen if I say you modify the 5th record or modify the record of Ramo? I will input the name and you go to the record and modify. In these cases, I have to access the file in a random fashion, random order. Right? So how to go to a particular record in the file? So we use a file pointer, and that file pointer we have to move it according to our requirement. So see here, I have a file string. I have a file string in which the data are being stored. Correct? And the last character of the file string is the end of file marker. Correct? My file pointer, suppose in the write mode, it will be over here. Our read pointer, it will be over here. Correct? I want to modify a particular record, maybe the 5th record or 4th record. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 5th record. If I want to modify the 5th record, my pointer, this pointer has to be present over here. So to reach on the nth record, if I have to modify the nth record, the n minus 1, I must be after the n minus 1th record. So to modify this record, I have to, how much byte I have to move over here? I have to move n minus 1 into size of each, size of one record, maybe employee or student, whatever it is. So size of each one into n minus 1, so that will reach over here. I will again input all my data and write into this location, it will write into this location. I repeat it again. I have to modify the nth location. This data I want to modify. What I will do? I have to move to the end of the 4th record so that I can modify the 5th one. If it is for the nth record, I have to go for n minus 1. So n minus 1 into size of each of the record. So that I'll reach over here, I'll input all my data and by using the fwrite, I'll write into the content. If I say modify the content which name is roll number is 10. So I'll read the first record, I'll check whether roll number 10 is there or not. I'll read the second record, I'll check roll number 10 is not. I'll go on checking. If it matches over here, then the entire thing again I will input and store it over in that location. Correct? So the slides, so we'll be having, this is called our random access. So for this, to know that in which position my pointer is, I can use the ftel function over here. Ftel function returns the position of the current position of the file pointer. Current position of the file pointer. So if for opening at the beginning it is 0. We have a rewind function that will bring the file pointer to the beginning of the file. So if I use rewind of fp, that means pointer is at the beginning. And if I say ftel, that will return what? That will return 0 because it has already, the file pointer is at the beginning of the file. I have another function called fseek. This is very important. The fseek function moves the pointer, file pointer, to a desired location. If I say fseek of 30, that means 30 bytes from the beginning. Fseek of 70, 70 bytes from the beginning. Always it is from the beginning. So f2, this is the file name. This is how many bytes I want to move, and this says from which location. That means it is from the beginning or from the current location or from the end of the file. So that determines this value that we can give is 0, 1 or 2 I can give. If it is by default it is 0, always it is from the beginning. If I write 1, that is mean from the current location. If I write 2, that means from the end. While I write 2, it must be the offset may be 0 or any minus value because you are reading from the end. So if I say fp 0 or 2, what does it mean? We are at the end of the file. 0 is the offset, we don't want to move. 2 is from the, 2 is what? End of the file. 2 is the end of the file. So if I write fseek file pointer 0, 2, what does it mean? It says that in this file, I want to go to the end. I will go to the end because 2 is the end of file. 0 bytes, that means it will be stay over there. So now if I write ftel, what should give? Ftel of fp will give what? What it will return? It will return the size of the file because the pointer is at the end of the file. So this x will return the size of the file. Correct? Next slide. So we can use in this way either 0, 1 or 2. There are different examples. It says that how to move. If it is 1, it is from current location. 0 is from the beginning. 2 is from the end. So wherever you will see 2, it should be either 0 or minus. So next slide, this I already said. Suppose there is a file random, these characters are being entered in this way. I want to read every 5th character. By leaving at first we read the contents of every 5th character. Next we will read the contents of the file, the end and print the same on the same. So we will go for the next slide. We want to read every 5th character. So the file is already created. So for reading every 5th character, what I will do, I will take a variable over here. 0 location means current location. I will read my position is n, n is 0. So I read the character. I will make it n is equal to n plus 5. So next time when I come, the n is 5 over here. From 0 to 5th character. Next time, the 10th character from 10 onwards. Then 15 onwards. Like that it will print. And similarly for the end, if I want to print the last characters, I have used over here for. This is from the current load position. 1 is from the current position. If it is for the last characters, then you have from the end position. This problem you will do of your own. This you can skip. This they will do of your own. This is for the book information that you are writing. You will write and read. You can go through this, how this record can be read and write. Practice of your own. Next one. This is the this program I have given for your 2 days assignment or 2 days lab session. I will do it by employee information. We will input it. We input it by using the fwrite. By using the fwrite, we have inputted this. We have inputted by using the So we use the fwrite to use fwrite to write over there, and similarly we give the rewind function so that the content can be. We can go to the beginning of the file and input fread function to read the content from the file. One record it will read at a time and it will display on this. So what we are doing over here, we have inputted the employee name. We search for the employee. If it matches, it will display the content. This is the problem, that we will input the employee name. If the employee name matches any record, it should display. So very simple. These things you will do of your own. These things the records you will do of your practice of your own. These things I will share with you. Okay. So we come up to the end of our session for this file handling. See, we have covered many things over there. In 2 hours, we try to cover many things over here. But you might have some problem in understanding anywhere. I have shared my email ID and the phone number. This is the same number is my WhatsApp number as well. If you have any doubt while writing the programs, in concept wise, anywhere if you have doubt, you can contact me through my mail ID or through my WhatsApp.